Hey guys, it's Matt. The longer and more accurate title of this video is, I would rather be trapped in a zombie-filled netherworld, as depicted in the TV show From, than live in the Western world in 2023 going into 2024. Now, I make a lot of jokes on this channel, but the real sick thing is I'm in no way kidding. I would rather be trapped in a zombie-filled netherworld, as it's depicted in From, than live where I live in the United States in 2023 going into 2024. Let me explain how that's possible, and soon I think you'll want to live with me. Now, in saying this, I don't mean to imply I would choose other Armageddon-laden landscapes as depicted in TV shows like The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. And there's like 4,000 others. I don't think I would choose that, because in those scenarios, the zombies can always get you. The state of the world is actually a little bit worse than the situation they're in From. They can protect themselves at night in their living quarters from the zombies. This makes all the difference. This is what makes the From lifestyles not only better than Fear the Walking Dead and everything else presented on television, but actually coveted by somebody like me. Now, I know most of you have never seen From on the MGM network. Most of you have probably never even heard of it. So let me fill you in on what's going on. There are no spoilers. You know within the first 15 minutes what is going on, the basic premise. Then it's like a soap opera. It's scenario by scenario. This townsperson's fighting with this townsperson. This zombie's found a way to get into the house. It's scenario by scenario. In no way is this giving anything away. There's some sort of netherworld where people take a wrong turn on a highway and they find themselves coming into this town that's very beaten up and the paint's peeling and the cars look like they're burned out or they have no air in the tires. It's like going back in time, but people are living there. And they ask directions. How do I get out of here? And the people know they're stuck in a zombie-filled netherworld, but people that drive in there have to learn for themselves. There's no way out. So they drive. You drive. They just go out straight ahead, but then they come back in the other way. You know, it's like Pac-Man. You go out one side, you keep coming, and they drive all day, and then they kind of realize there's something very strange and supernatural going on. So the townspeople let them kind of experience that, anybody new that comes in. Then the townspeople come out and say, you see how strange this is? You ain't getting anywhere driving around. They don't exactly come right out and say, you're stuck in a zombie-filled netherworld, but they say, the sun's going down. You got to get inside with us, and you got about 2 minutes to do it. Or your arms and legs, it's a TV show. Your arms and legs are going to be ripped apart by zombies. You need to get inside. And then the people that have been driving around going in loops and they're actually stuck in a Pac-Man game go, I think these people are right. We better go inside. Then the zombies sometimes bang at the doors and things like that. But the point is, once they're inside, they're safe. The zombies cannot get in. They bait to get in. They turn themselves into, say, a beautiful woman or a siren on the rocks. Let me in. And some people, of course, do. The townspeople have a talisman of sorts or a symbol that they hang on the door or inside the door that further keeps the zombies out. The zombies come out right at sunset, and there are some truth drops associated with this show. That's why somebody recommended it to me. There aren't a whole lot, but one of the big ones, something we've talked about many times, these zombies, these evil creatures, the townspeople have to let them in. Often they're let in via a trick. For example, in one of the earlier episodes, I believe, there is a guy who may be a little slow, and he goes off to his room, and you see what's going on. He has this relationship with this beautiful woman at the window, but she's one of these zombies, of course, has taken human form, and she's baiting him to open the window, but apparently she's come to the window so many times, she's convinced him they have a relationship. He's like, well, I'm not supposed to open this window. I'm told, no, you can open this window. See, now we know each other. We know I'm not giving anything away. You know what's going to happen. I mean, you know within the first 5 seconds of the scene what's going to happen. Well, you're special. Now we know each other. I just want to come in and touch you. And of course, as soon as he opens the window, this pretty girl, she morphs into something, say, 1,000 times worse than Hillary Clinton, if you can imagine that. I mean, talk about cold in the bedroom. I don't think that's something that Bill ever experienced. I don't think he would ever even want to experience it. I think it was a match of political convenience so they can Saul Alinsky themselves right to the top of the creepy Not Milk Pyramid, those two bastards. Sorry, can I say that, Bada, to the First Amendment of freedom of speech? Can I say that? Can I ever say I don't like a certain political figure? Is that still allowed in the United States? Sorry. So she comes in, and then she does morph into something pretty scary. It is really nasty. It's very vampiric. What they morph into instantly as soon as you let it in, let the not milk in. And of course, within, seconds, he's been drawn and quartered. But it's a television show. Okay, Matt, we're about 5 minutes in. Nice job setting the stage on what's going on. We understand the background. These zombie shows are pretty much the same. We got it. Okay, but let's get to the heart of the matter. You're telling me you would rather live in a zombie-filled netherworld where the freaks come out at night than where you live outside Philadelphia, inside Pennsylvania, which means Penn's Woods, inside the Corporation of the United States, which is one of the three-legged stools of the legal untouchables, along with the Vatican and the City of London. You would rather live in that hellhole place depicted on the MGM series From than where you live now. And you know what? I really would. Now you better explain that, you crazy son of a beach. Okay, I'll explain it. What did I say at the opening of the last video? This is a world that will not leave real people alone. It's set up as it expands its culture and society outward like a disease to never, ever leave a real person alone. Now, what it intends for the NPC or other types of role players, that's not our concern here. At least from our perspective, we don't know how many of us at a certain level there are. It does not ever want to leave real people alone. That's why it expands outward. Like I've talked about 100 times, you could find the most remote Filipino island or Indonesia. They're one of the two places. They say there's like 100,000 islands or something. You could find the most remote one. You have a little guide. You say, have I found the most remote one? Yes, you have, sir. Here's your $5. Get the hell out of here. I don't ever want to see another human being again. And then some sort of inspector would show up, or some taxing authority, or somebody would come off a boat, like I alluded to in a video. I don't think there's anywhere in this world where we can be left alone. So maybe if a netherworld, like a zombie-filled netherworld like From exists, so let's just say I drove off here. They'd run up to my window and say, sir, you're not going to believe this. This is what happens to new people that take that wrong exit. Somebody comes out, somebody that's lived in the town for several years. Sir, you're not going to believe me. You've driven into a zombie-filled netherworld. The sun's about to set. If you don't come with us right now, you're not going to live through the night. There's no way out. There's no escape. And a smile would slowly start to come over my face. Like, how many people live here? About 100. All different ages, sizes, shapes, men, women, etc. The smile gets larger. Have you ever seen a taxing authority here? An inspector that's going to come out and inspect the holes. When I did the extension on the deck, some prick came out and said, your holes aren't code. I said, my holes? What you talking about, my holes? Don't get personal with me, boy. No, your holes in the ground. 36 inches. You need that's 666. You need 36 inches for a hole to extend a deck? What do you think this is? Upper Mongolia or Lower Siberia? We don't get no frost freeze down 3 feet. That's what it's for. We get frost freeze for about 2 inches. He says, your holes are 32, 33, 44 inches. I could never stop at that other number. He says, I'll leave you alone. I won't come back. I'll only do one more inspection on your little deck extension. But you got to get your holes down to 36. You better promise me. I said, I'll dig 3 more inches out in the holes. The guy was satisfied. And then because I did a permit, the township came out, the Westchester Township or whatever. What was it? Yeah, Westchester Borough. They reassessed my home for tax value because I put an extension on the deck. I said, you're going to reassess my home? And they bumped up the value. They had to get their extra 50 cents, the bastards. So yeah, if I drive into the From town, the sun's setting, I'm going to ask a series of questions, and the smile is going to get bigger and bigger on my face. You got internet here? You got answer? You got internet? We don't have internet, sir. This is a zombie-filled netherworld. Are you understanding that? Okay, I understand that, but I'm just getting very, very happy about the situation I've stumbled into. They said, are you crazy, sir? Everybody wants to get out of here, and you want to get in? You don't have internet. Do you have police, firefighters, first responders of any kind? No. You have any television? Any news, like really disgusting people on CNN barking at me every night? No, you don't have that. Have you ever seen a taxing authority here? Gotten a nasty letter from a government agency in the mail? There ain't no mail service either. Oh my gosh. Have you ever heard of a company called Getty Images? No, this is a goddamn paradise. Now I'm still in my car at this point, and the person, it's a man, an older man, he looks kind of like a farmer. He's looking at me going, you have 5 minutes to get inside behind my talisman, or these things are going to come out like I've been telling you. I said, okay, I'll shut the car off, but will you continue to answer my questions as we walk? I'll answer your questions. Let's go. Now you're putting us all at risk. So as we walk, say, this is too good to be true. Now you're an older man. It's just way too good to be true. You were all in some bus, right? A bunch of older men. You were on your way to, say, certain parade in San Francisco, and it's all going to be, it just can't be this good. It's all guys that are like, I'm not of your persuasion, sir. It's like, no, that's not, we weren't on our way to Market Street in San Francisco. There's all different types here. There's young girls, there's older women, there's men. We're mostly cisgendered here. I heard that term from the outside once. You people here are cisgendered too? Yes. I said, oh my God. Now, is there anything to eat? I know we're all going to starve out. No, I'll show you guys listening to the sound of the words coming out of my mouth. They have a diner where this Chinese woman works and some other people that prepares food for the town. That's her role, to prepare the food. She can make you eggs, and they even have a little pancake batter they save for special occasions. You go into the diner and it's fucking free. Now, tell me that we don't want to go, that you and I don't want to go there now. Well, Matt, what about the downside? 25% of the town over many years has been killed off by these zombies. Is that a little bit of a problem? Not the way they could do a better job from presenting it as a problem, the way they present it. As long as you have your little symbol, your little talisman, whatever you bought on Home Shopping Network or wherever they get the damn thing, as long as you have that and you're inside your living quarters as the sun goes out, yeah, the zombies they cannot get in. They will come to the window, you pull the shades. They don't usually, I said bang. There's a few cases where they bang or whatever, but I guess they'd given up over time. They come to the window, they'll kind of stand there. At some point, but they don't do a lot of that baiting. They'll bait the new people. But then it's almost like there's an intelligence where if the zombies know that, look, they've been up to this house 20 times, nobody's going to let them in. They stop banging. They stop appearing as a young, attractive man or attractive woman going to the window. Nobody in this house is going to let them in. So they kind of move on. That's the impression I get. So fine, you go inside, you close the door. 6 o'clock on the average night, sun goes down, you're inside all night, you sleep peacefully, there's no sound of planes, there's no tales of chemicals going over, there's no sound of the damn R5 line, which the whistle that seems to get louder and louder. This is like a reality. I'm going to go off the topic here for a second, guys. The R5 train line comes from Philadelphia up through Thorndale here, and it's not that close to my house. I have to be several miles away, and I've been here 22 years, and in the last 2 years, I've heard the whistle. It's the Amtrak. I'm not doing it well. I've never heard it before. The last 2 years, I've heard it. And it's like, well, what the hell is going on? Well, if that's loud, if I can hear it all the way out here, now the people that live close to this line, down through Ardmore, Bryn Mawr, these are very expensive homes where top lawyers and judges live. Like, this thing, it starts blowing its whistle at like 5:45. It's the scene right out of My Cousin Vinny. And you can hear it at night. Like, well, how is this even happening? This would be waking up tens of thousands of people every day. So these people that have this sort of clout, it's really strange, guys. People that have all this money or top positions in this society that live along Route 30, Lancaster Avenue, have no way of saying, turn the damn whistle off. They get woken up every morning. I'm telling you, it's like before 6 a.m., sometimes late at night. How are they not all being woken up? And these are people that, are top people in the society. Matt, this proves it. There's only a few people that are real here left. There's some sort of zombies themselves. Maybe. I don't want to get this video is already strange enough. So we'll talk about that some other time. But there is no point is you go inside in the town from, there's no planes overhead. There's nobody beeping outside. There's no highway traffic noise. I don't know if they have the sounds of birds or things. I think they do have a completely natural environment. So they have natural sounds, crickets. There's no sound of the damn R5 line blowing its horn at 5:45 in the morning. No jackhammering from all the construction they're doing down here. It's a damn paradise, if you ask me. All you got to do to be just fine in the town from is not open your window or doors after sunset. Is that hard? to get this sort of paradise with no CNN, no Wi-Fi waves, has no 5G, no millimeter waves, none of that shit. It's a small price to pay. I don't go anywhere anyway after sunset. I'm here. I don't care if there ain't no Club Studio 54. I won't do that now. So you're fine. Maybe you live in a home with 2 or 3 other people you don't know that has 3 bedrooms. That's kind of the way they do it in the town there. Fine, you shut the doors as long as you trust now if you don't trust your roommates and one of your roommates is a little slow, like that guy's going to develop that relationship with that young cute zombie out the window. Eventually, she can convince him over a matter of weeks that they know each other, and then he's going to like succumb and open the window. Then that jeopardizes, she'll come through, that zombie will transform and the whole house will go down. In other words, you better trust your roommate not going to crack that window, because it's not just him that's going to be drawn and quartered. That zombie gets into the house, you all finished. Okay, I sat here and thought about it for a few minutes, and maybe I'm not presenting a fair argument. It is a bit of a downside that you close your doors and windows at 6 o'clock, and maybe they're not coming right up to the window, and maybe they're not banging on the door, but right outside is a whole host of zombies, just knowing they're out there every night. Okay, it's a bit of a downside. And these zombies are nasty. I remember, what was it, Joel Goodson in Risky Business? He had to let Jackie in. He says, "Joel, open the door. That way you see I can call a cab." Letting Jackie in is thousands of times better than letting one of these zombies in. They are vicious. Even what was remember they sent the 40-year-old virgin off to that hotel room, and it was a man? No. How do you know? So you have no proof. It was because her Adam's apple was as big as her balls. That's not as bad as these zombies in From. They do a good job depicting how dangerous and nasty and scary they are. It's not The Walking Dead where they're coming at you slow, or Michael Jackson Thriller, oh, you can just walk away. Or these things are like lightning. You crack that window, it will just get right in, slither like twice as fast as a snake, and it's not slow, these zombies. They're supernatural evil beings. I'm just calling them zombies so you get a sense of what's happening. They're not true zombies, but I'm no expert. But if you weigh the good against the bad, get up in the morning, got to go to work? No. Got any taxes to pay? No. Got bills sitting here? Homeowners insurance. Oh, they're going to up your rate. Oh, school tax went up $400. Oh my God, all this shit. No bills. Nobody bothering you. Nobody trying to put a mask on you. No relatives saying, we're going to have the reunion, but you action-Jacksonated people, you're going to have to wear your mask. And I said, I have to sit across the street. And then you fall out with family and friends that think you're nuts. Everybody in the town doesn't think you're nuts because we're all in the same situation, just like you and me are in this same strange situation. See, even places like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, that looks very appealing to me. Any place of isolation. But I don't think you can really find that on this earth anymore. A place where you can truly be left alone. You could get close, but there's a huge price to pay. I mean, Life Below Zero, you ever see it? That woman that lives up there, Sue Aiken, you want to go up and be shut in for the winter with her? I mean, you go up there, fine, you're shut in, negative 60 degrees, and Sue Aiken's like, I just fixed the diesel generator, now it's time to jump on me, boy, why do you think I brought you here? That might be better, actually, than living outside Philadelphia the way I do, but that is way worse. Then she got internet, she got radio, there's a DVD collection. All you got to do is she'll chain you up and she'll jump on you a few times a week. That's probably better than where I live, but it's not as nearly as the paradise that From presents to people like me and you. What we're going to discuss next, I'm sure you could predict. That the town is desperately trying everything they can to get back into civilization, to get back in and merge with the not milk. When if you and I were there, it'd be like, what the hell y'all doing? Why you want to leave? Why? Let's just all stay here. We all have our roles now. Now, okay, there's one proviso, of course. I'm not completely devoid of feeling as Scrooge screamed at the ghost of Christmas future as he looked over his own grave. Some people would need to get back to a child or a loved one or family members. Okay, let's just put that aside. Many of us are in a similar situation that I'm in here. There's many here that have large families and many have kids. Okay? There's all different types here. But I know many of you are like me. There are a lot of loners here. You don't have the family attachments you used to. At least they'll just talk to those people. You would be right there with me going, wait a second. Don't be going through all these radical efforts to get out of here. You don't want to get out of here. Let me try to sell you on the idea of staying, because I don't want to be here by myself. They even have a damn bartender there. It's perfect. He mixes up some swill and some piece of shit still or something. You know, it's like that crap they drank in the Matrix or whatever, that it'll scrape the paint off the inside of a tin can or something. But they have a bar and they can produce liquor. And it's free. My God, it's free. They ain't got no currency or any form of exchange. Every towns member has a role, it seems. So if I was there in my fantasy, my role would be like wood chopping. So I'd chop wood for how many hours or whatever is needed, deliver some wood. Then there's no paycheck or anything. And then I can go do what I want until sundown and go off to that diner. That Chinese woman will serve me some luscious food. Look, their supplies, of course, they imply are very limited. But I never heard nobody complain in that show about the food. She does a pretty good job. Then there's a bar. You could go off to the bar and say, well, we don't have to go at sunset. We'll stay here all night, pull the blinds down. You just keep, and I'll pass out on the floor or something. That's not a bad thing, I'm telling you. That sounds, the more I think about it, I really wish this place existed. I would try to go find it if it existed, not be upset that I turned off the wrong road into some netherworld. I'd go try to seek it out. I'm the only one that wants to get into Shawshank in this regard. Warden Norton was a captain of the guard. Hadley, he'd be like, there's some fool banging on the gates outside. He wants in. He wants in here. Well, I don't know, yell out the window. You need to commit a crime and then be prosecuted, and then they'll send you here. I can't just come right in. I need to go commit I don't want to really harm anybody. What's the minimum crime I could commit where it's still a felony? They still send me to Shawshank. Oh, okay. I'll be right back. I'll see you guys in a few weeks. Anyway, From is easier than that. You just got to find this netherworld exit off the highway that exists for some and not for others. The Road Between the Worlds, which I believe is a Michael Moorcock book. Don't laugh. His name's one of the great sci-fi fantasy authors of all time, Michael Moorcock. Don't laugh. I have a lot of his books. If you could find the Road Between Worlds, the exit between worlds, then I could maybe someday in our fantasy, people like us, we could find from and live away from the Not Milk. And I don't think these zombies, I don't think they might represent the Not Milk if in this type of presentation to the masses through a large corporate entity like MGM Channel. But if we were really there, these zombies would be not the same as Henry Kissinger. I think we would like them even more than Not Milk Minions. How would you like, just think about this. How would you like to go the rest of your life never hearing the name Melvin P. Gates, never seeing the face of Melvin P. Gates? That by itself is attractive. Now, I just looked up the name of the lead actor in From. I never knew his name. Harold Perrineau, something like that. But I recognized him from, he's in Lost. That's interesting. I've never seen Lost, but there's definitely many parallels from what I know about Lost, probably between From and Lost. He was Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio Da Vinci version. And I think was he in The Matrix, I believe, one of the Matrix Revolutions or something like that. Harold Perrineau, look, he's a black guy. Okay, I don't know. Wait a minute. Is that not politically correct? Am I just supposed to describe how his nose and chin looks? That helps narrow it down a bit. Okay, sorry. The black guy who was in Romeo and Juliet, that's Harold Perrineau, whatever. Sorry. So somebody could come get me? That's not politically correct. I'll just try to describe what his face looks like without saying anything about the skin color. Come on, grow up. It can work the other way, too. If I was talking about the greatest movie ever made, Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, and the one white guy that lived in Harlem with Mookie and Bugging Out, the guy's name was Bugging Out or something, I'd say the white guy. The white guy with the Larry Bird 33 green jersey. He's the only one. Sal and Pino, whatever, they didn't live in that neighborhood. They came from way over Brooklyn. They just sold their pizza, and then they got the hell out of there at night. There's that one, I'd say the white guy that lives in that. I'd do that too. So it's okay. Bugging out. Jane, you ain't down. You ain't down, Jane. Sal, you can put some black people up the walls. Sal, you need to put some black people up on the walls. I love that character, bugging out. He was obnoxious as hell, but one of my favorites from that wonderful, wonderful movie, Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And who could forget one of my favorite characters, Smiley? I guess he was another white guy. He could have been Latino. Whatever. Thank you, black man. That's what it's just right. But that's from Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. I'm not being in any way disparaging. And I'm not joking. It is a great movie. I enjoy it. I can't stand that little runt director-producer, but I do love that movie. I could just do scenes from it all video long. Sweet Dick Willie, I love that movie. Could I quote it like that if I didn't really like it? I do really like it. All his other work is junk, but I do like that one. I'm sitting here for a few minutes just thinking about some things, and I know we talked about this theme somewhat recently, like why in this TV show or in this movie scenario do you want to go back? Why do you want to get out at all? I can't remember the specific movie we've talked about in the last few weeks or few months regarding this, but I think there's probably a lot of scenarios. I haven't seen Lost, but it was Gilligan's Island we were talking about. That's what it was. Why you want to leave? Are you kidding me? A tropical paradise? I mean, okay, they have limited choice of foods, whatever, but why would you want to leave Gilligan's Island? I mean, things like that. Now, look, there are some examples or exceptions. Land of the Lost, okay? That's a place you want to get the hell out of. It ain't no parrot. You turn around, Tyrannosaurus Rex. You turn around the other way, Stegosaurus. You turn around the other way, Sleestacks. Sleestacks. That is not a place, okay, that's not like you can just go into your little home, put your little talisman up, it says Sleestacks, stay the fuck out. They will still come through that door. You want to get the heck out of Land of the Lost. But the producers or directors or writers of From, I don't think they really did the best job that they could have. They didn't realize there's a whole population of people like us that would look upon that situation and covet it and want to get in there, want to live those lifestyles. One of the main techniques that the writers and directors of From are banking on to create a compelling story is to have the audience first sympathize with the situation of the people in the town, but then grow to understand them, to have the same wants and needs of getting out, of trying to put themselves in that exact situation, of what would they do, what risks would they take to get out. Those in From venture out into the forest, risking their lives to find a border or a place where they could cross back into the natural world, if that exists in this netherworld between the worlds. So the writers and directors have to put the audience kind of in the position of those stuck in the town. That's the only way the show works. You have a group of assholes like us that can't put themselves into an empathetic or sympathetic situation with the people in the town because we see them as dumb bastards for wanting to get out in the first place. You see, the whole thing doesn't work. And we can keep extending this concept even further. A lot of different types of TV shows and movies don't work on our little segment of the population. What am I talking about? There's a ton of examples. Recently come to mind, Oppenheimer. How many out there listening to me took a first date to see Oppenheimer? Come on. Lots of you went for your first date to see Oppenheimer. You couldn't resist, right? 25 minutes in, just whispered over your date, Sheila, what? This doesn't exist. What doesn't exist? This whole scenario here, this thing they call nukes, Sheila, this doesn't exist. What? She gets up and walks out. See, we're supposed to see Barbie after this. Sheila, the Barbie movie's more real than this horse shit we're looking at now. It's fucking fake. You see, a lot of movies count on what's called suspension of disbelief, where the audience can just kind of look the other way that a certain superhero has the ability to walk through a wall. It's all fun. The problem with our little segment of the population, we have suspension of disbelief on historically accurate documentaries and things that say based on real events. If it says to us based on real events, it means it's fake as shit. It's based on nothing but that both characters breathe air. That's how it has a common with the real event. Both characters breathe air and have to drink water. Based on real events is the biggest bunch of horseshit we've ever heard of. So people like us, we sit down and we watch Lincoln, for example, Daniel Day-Lewis, and everybody around us is going, oh my gosh, his presentation and characterization of Lincoln is so perfect, so spot on. We're like, well, we only know it's spot on from the way car commercials present their sales at President's Day. Nobody knows the way the man really acted. How do we know? That's the fictitious representation we've gotten of Lincoln. Everybody's been, oh, he did such a great job emulating Lincoln. How do you know? That's the video back. It's the hottest it's been in 125,000 years. The first thing we think about is, well, how do you know how hot it was, you sons of bitches, 100,000 years ago? You got no thermometers sticking up out of the ground 100,000 years ago? How do you know how well Daniel Lewis did Lincoln? Nobody knows the way that bastard was. We don't know how good. All we know is he's similar to the character that puts the fake beard on and the top hat that presents the car commercials at President's Day. How many of you took a first date to see the famous Ben Affleck movie Pearl Harbor that has little cameos even from Dan Aykroyd and some other stars, and you did the same damn thing? You whispered over, see this, what you see right here? They knew about it. What? See what you see in here? Oh, surprise attack, and Cuba Gooding Jr.'s radio running around, and they knew about it. And your date's like, what the who the fuck put us together? I'm never going on another blind date again. And then again, in this case, it's a she. I'm not that there's anything wrong if you have another persuasion. She or he or they, them walks out of the movie theater. We get ourselves into trouble, people. I'm sorry. How many people took a first date to Tom Hanks' Apollo 13 and just couldn't keep quiet? Could you? Halfway through, they see that? That never happened. What never happened? The extent of the damage was not, it never happened. What are you saying? The extent of the damage wasn't as bad as what was presented on the news? Or did they actually land on the moon? Tom Hanks and Apollo 13? No, none of it happened. It's all, you ever play with little models as kids? That's all it is. Nothing goes anywhere. And the date, finish the story, walks the fuck out. Keeps happening decade after decade as you go back. Jurassic Park. Somebody in our little group, even way back when, just couldn't keep their mouths shut. You see that? Those things, Alice? What? Never existed. What? What about the bones down at the Natural History Fields Museum? It's all bullshit. There's a whole segment of our community. I don't know. I don't speak about things I don't have a high confidence on. Matt, you talk about reality breakdowns all the time. Well, I have a high confidence reality's breaking down. I don't know if the bones in the fields museums but what I know is as everything in this world breaks down as you look into it closely, what I know is a real world couldn't do that. Therefore, it's a fake world. I don't care if the bones down at the Fields Museum are real dinosaur that roamed around and crushed chickens or not. I don't care. But you can understand, go with the situation. I don't want to stray too much. Jurassic Park would be another situation. And let's say those two people were still together 30, 40 years later, and they went out to see King Kong versus Godzilla. And 30 minutes into the movie, Alice is wondering, well, every single movie we've seen since we've been together for 35 years, he's whispered that it's effing fake, but he hasn't said anything in this one. So Alice just speaks up and says, well, why don't you just stick true to form? This is the most fucking fake movie we've ever seen. Why don't you get out of the way and tell me it's fake? Because we went and see Lincoln. You got a problem with that. We went and see Pearl Harbor. You got a problem with that. We went and see Kevin Costner's JFK. You got big problems with that. Everything that's historically accurate that's presented on the film, you tell me how effing cake in a lake it is. But this one, you stay quiet. Look at King Kong and Godzilla fight right now in the ocean, right off that ship. Well, tell me, let's get it out of the way. Honey, Alice, this is real. What? This is real? What? Well, not exactly the giant ape, honey. That we don't know. The Godzilla, that probably not. But see, as you'll see towards the end, honey, there's a whole inner Earth presentation. A whole world underneath the world, the inner Earth presentation. We believe in King Kong versus Godzilla is a truth drop. King Kong descends back to where the original monsters came from. A whole world underneath the world we knew, kind of an inverted Dyson sphere. You fucking think this one is true and all the other ones, historically accurate movies like Kevin Costner, JFK, everything's bullshit we've seen over the last 25 years? Yeah. You want a divorce? Yeah. We really shouldn't be surprised as the way we're seen and treated by the other facets and segments of the population and friends and family groups. Now, should we? Not only do we pick holes in the historical significance of everything we see or everything we ever took a date to, then we even go further. We can't keep our mouth shut even for more. Let's say Mel Gibson's The Patriot, right? Oh, we're going to have problems with, let me tell you about the real history, hun. But then he comes in with a damn rocking chair, and he's whittling the rocking chair, and it looks like he's failed many times. He's got a pile of wood over there, and he puts it on the scale, he puts a rocking chair on a scale, and Mel Gibson in the movie The Patriot says, 9 pounds, 11 ounces. Perfect. This is just perfect. 9 pounds. Then he goes to sit in it and it collapses down like a free fall rocking chair. And we say to our date, you see that? You know what that was? That was an allusion to the big event that would be coming. And the date says, you got to be kidding me. What kind of lunatic did I marry? It ain't their fault, folks. It's our fault. It's not you, it's me. We're not on the ship of fools. They're on the ship of fools. The ship of fools is this reality. We're the ones off it. We're the oddballs out. Per the standards and metrics of what is normal, we're the crazy people. The old phrase, it's not you, it's me, literally applies from our perspective. It is off. It's wrong in this reality, per the metrics of what is normal, to be off the ship of fools. Right? Fromers tried to warn these people not to get involved with us. The father of the bride he said, Fromers tried to warn you. You know, once you start telling me, oh, your fiance is interested in what? Area 51, aliens, that the government's this. Once you understand who you get involved with, these people are right. We're the freaks and oddballs in this reality. But we wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back. It's okay. We see through it, but we're wrong because their perspective is the only perspective that's in line with this reality. We're not in line with this reality. Fine. That's why I don't have any interactions with anybody. The worst case scenario is to find yourself in the middle of a situation with a giant family, with a husband that thinks you're crazy, kids that think you're crazy. That I can't empathize or understand that situation. That's got to be very difficult because it's difficult on all of us. Hopefully, you don't want to be Cypher and go back into the Matrix. Once we've seen what we've seen, and we're not wrong in our interpretations, there is no going back. I'm sorry to tell you. Now take your date out. Go to the damn next Barbie Oppenheimer combination movie, but this time just shut up. Don't say anything anymore. And if your husband's, why come you don't talk about conspiracy stuff no more? Just say, you know what, honey? I realized I was wrong. About what? About all of it. I take it all back, and I don't believe one bit of it. Just lie. Do what you need to do to preserve the relationships you have, or you'll be like me that have no relationships. Thanks for listening.